When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the Gospel according to Matthew. In the lectionary, the reading is from chapter 9, verse 36 up to chapter 10, verse 8. I will extend it also to one verse ahead, chapter 9, verse 35, and then continuing chapter 10 up to verse 15. It is the Gospel reading for the 11th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A. At the beginning, I just read the first part of what we have in the lectionary, then it continues. Then Jesus summoned his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits to cast them out and to cure every disease and every sickness. And then is provided the list of the names of the 12 apostles. And then Jesus sends them on mission, giving them the following instructions. Go nowhere among the Gentiles, and enter no town of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As you go, proclaim the good news. The kingdom of heaven has come near. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. You have received payment, give without payment. However, we should also extend this reading up to the following verses, because the reading for this Sunday just eliminates the preceding verse, which should be included, and the continuing verses where the instructions are still given. Take no gold or silver, no or copper in your belts, no bag for your journey, or 2 tunics or sandals, or a staff, for laborers deserve their food. Whatever town or village you enter, find out who in it is worthy to stay there until you leave. And as you enter the house, greet it. If the house is worthy, your peace will come upon it. But if it is not worthy, let your peace return to you. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet as you leave the house or town. Truly I tell you, it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for that town. And the verse at the beginning which should be added is, Then Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing every disease and every sickness. Extending the reading with those added verses, then we see the whole perspective, because verse 35 mentions the mission of Jesus, that he was proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing every disease and every sickness. The same mission is taken up by the disciples, because Jesus gives them the authority over the unclean spirits to cast them out and to cure every disease and every sickness. And then in verse 8 also we read that cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. But also there is this important statement about the environment where the gospel was preached, where those healings happened, that Jesus was teaching in the synagogues in verse 35. And it corresponds to the limitation which he gives them in chapter 10, verse 5. Go nowhere among the Gentiles and enter no town of the Samaritans. The disciples should imitate Jesus, following the same pattern, because in the core part of the gospel according to Matthew, Jesus' mission is limited to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, as we read here in verse 6. And only towards the end of the gospel, in particular after his resurrection, the mission is extended to all the people. And it corresponds also well with the last verse 15, which mentions about the judgment that will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for that town. Because here we have the logic which corresponds also to another saying of Jesus now in this time in the Gospel according to Luke chapter 12 verse 48. From everyone to whom much has been given, much will be required, and from the one to whom much has been entrusted, even more will be demanded. That saying is addressed to two servants, the faithful one and unfaithful one, but it is suitable also to this general setup, because the gospel is proclaimed to the lost sheep of Israel, to the nations of Israel, to the people of Judah, and after their refusal, the gospel will be proclaimed to the other nations, but also consequently, being the gospel proclaimed to them, they are those who have received much, and there from them will be also required much. And consequently, then the punishment will be bigger than for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah, where the gospel was not proclaimed. And this goes also well with the logic, as we can find quite often in the prophetical books, that before making the criticism of Israel, the prophets firstly make the criticism of other nations for the crimes which they committed against other nations, while then for the concerning the Israel, the condemnation is not over the crimes which they committed against other nations, but against own nation, in particular being disobedient to the word of God. I would like to wish you a nice day, a nice reflection on this gospel reading. God bless you.